So wood burning is a very good way to personalize ritual items, to decorate pictures and gifts. Um, you can make pretty much anything with wood burning. Um, these little tools right here, wood burners, you can get them pretty much anywhere. I got this one at Walmart. It was 13 bucks and came with 4 different tips. Um, and you just plug them in, turn them on, and it heats the tip up. Now these things do get very, very hot, and they will burn you in a heartbeat. So you have to be very careful. And it does take a little practice to learn how to use the different tips and keep them moving smoothly to make your pictures. A couple of things that I have done is a few years ago, my sister and I were making stuff to sell at craft fairs, and this is one thing, which is why it has a price tag on it, that I made to go up for sale. It's just a picture frame. You just slide your picture in the back here, and makes a really good gift for people. Like you go to a birthday party, you take a picture of you and your best friend on their birthday. Get a cheap little wooden frame. I think these cost like $3 or $4 a piece at the craft store. Burn some pictures and happy birthday on it. Print that picture out, put it in here, and give it to your friend. And it's a very personal, very satisfying gift. Frost, these things can be used as soldering irons. One of my irons did come with a soldering tip and the solder metal. I don't do soldering, I don't make jewelry or nothing like that, so I've never used it, but it can be used as a soldering iron. Okay, another thing I've made, I took a simple stencil and drew this picture onto this little wooden block, and then I burned the picture in there. This was not one of my best attempts. It was one of my earlier attempts, but yeah, that just shows you it's really easy. I have dozens of stencils that I bought real cheap at craft stores and at Walmart of all different shapes and pictures. You draw it on there and then follow the outline. This little picture frame was something that I bought at a thrift store. It was just a little kids thing. This picture was already drawn on here, and it came with little markers, and just colored in the picture, and then used the wood burner to go around the outline of the pictures. And it turned out really, really cute. And this is something you can do for like a child or for like a grandmother. You put a picture of the grandchild in there and stick a couple magnets on the back. Really cute, really personal. Things like this, things that you make, show that you've actually put thought into the gift instead of just run into a store, picked up something, oh, they might like this, and thrown it in a bag. Making something is very, very personal, and it also puts your energy into it. So when you're making it for somebody special, you always think happy thoughts, good thoughts. You think what you want that person to achieve and to have in their life, and put it into that gift while you're making it. And it's very effective. Okay, to do the wood burning, this is just another picture frame that I use stencils to draw some pictures on. I've already done some of it. This is one of my favorite tips. It's just a smooth round tip. I just call it the writing tip. Like I said, it does take some practice to use effectively, because when you put it on the wood, you have to keep it moving smoothly, or you get weird lines like that one. That's where it moves a little bit and stops, moves a little bit and stops. Okay, because remember, this is very, very hot and it's burning. So this is just a treble clef symbol right here, and you just put the tip lightly on your line that you drew and follow it around. Really simple, really easy. That's all there is to it. You just remember these things are very, very hot. This tip can be used to make these type of straight lines, or you can lean a little bit to the side and use it for shading, like this. It makes a wider line when you just kind of very slightly lean it on its side. You remember, like I said, you always have to remember to keep it smooth and even. Keep your movement smooth and even. To make the fine line, you hold it completely perpendicular to your wood and just touch it down. See? Just like that. So, yeah. You have to be really careful. It's hard for me to do and hold this where y'all can see it. But basically, that's all there is to the wood burning. You want to fill in a place, you use a wider tip and just draw it along. And it fills in just like that. Now, when you're finished with the wood burning, you can use just like a tongue oil or something like that to rub the wood evenly to just seal the wood so that it doesn't get messed up with water and all that kind of stuff. Or with this one, I used a wood stain that it was like a spray paint. It was in a can, like a spray paint can, and it had the polyurethane in with the stain. So all I had to do was give it a couple of coats with that spray, and it's already polyurethane, sealed from moisture and dirt, and you can get it in all different colors. I don't have any right at the moment, or I would show it to you. So basically, that's all there is to the wood burning. Are there any questions? Okay, so no questions on the wood burning? There are several different tips you can get that all, do slightly different things. Like this one has these little lines on it. I would show you, but it takes a while to cool these tips down so I can take them out and then, put the new tip in and heat it back up. But this has, I don't know if you can see them on there, but what you would do with this is just put the flat part flat against your wood and just draw it, and it makes tiny little parallel lines. This one is a shading tip, like I showed you with that other tip, but it's just slightly different shape, and you can get better in the corners with this little tip. This one is like a stamp, where you just hold it completely perpendicular to the wood, touch it down, and it stamps that little circle. And this exact tip is what I made that little circle thing with. And I have to be careful and not knock these things off on my floor, because my floor is a wooden floor. And that would not be good if I burned my wooden floor. Okay, there we are. Sorry about that. And there's several different types of these little tips. This is a smaller version of the tip that I use to do the shading and the fine lines. And this is a smaller tip, like the writing tip. It's just very, very tiny. So yeah, you can get all different types of tips. This is a really big shading one. Or you can, use it like the stamp to make a big circle, or you can just draw it across the wood. Darkness Enchanted, yes, you can get some kits. Like when I bought my first one, it came in this box and it had a little sheet booklet thing that gave basic instructions. It was about $25 to buy this one, and it came with several different tips. The one I bought for $13 at Walmart did not come with instructions or anything like that. It was just the burner and the tips. So if you go to a craft store, you can probably they're called mostly beginner kits that come with little booklets of instruction. That's also how I started with my glass etching. The first glass etching I did, I got a beginner kit that included a couple of little stencils, a practice piece of glass, a brush, and a little bottle of the etching cream. And that's how I started with the glass etching too. The wood burning, my father and my sister used to do it when I was really little. And my second husband was very, very artistic, and he did a lot of wood burning. So that's how I got into the wood burning. Darkness Enchanted, no. The cream that you buy to etch glass will not etch metal. It will not etch anything but real glass. It won't etch plexiglass. And if your glass is coated with something that makes it a color, it will not etch that coating. It will only etch glass. Now, it will burn your skin mildly. If you get a lot on it for a long time, it will burn your skin severely, but it will not etch anything but glass. There are other acids that will etch metal, but I don't mess with those. So, any more questions before we move on? Okay, well, let's move on to candle gardens. Now, the first candle garden I'm going to make for you is, it's not actually for ritual or spell use. It is going to be a gift for a friend of mine. She lost her father a few months ago. Darkness Enchanted, there are acids that will etch metal. There are also tools you can get that will draw on and etch on metal, but they take a lot of practice to work with. My father used to have one, and he used to write on all kinds of metal with it. But they take a lot of practice to get used to. All right, anyway, this candle garden is going to be a memorial garden for a friend of mine. She lost her father a few months ago, and her mother's death could be just any moment. So I'm going to make a memorial candle garden for them, for her to have. What I'm using as a base is this. It is simply a Pyrex pie plate that I got at Walmart for $7. Okay. I could, if I decided to, etch little pictures around this edge here. That would be really cute, and I might do that before I give it to her, but I'm not real sure yet. The first thing you need, like I said, is your container, and it can be any kind of container as long as it does not have holes and openings in it. It's got to be solid. Hey, Nip, that's okay. What I use next is craft sand, and I got this at a craft store. It was $2.50 a bottle, and they have a dozen different colors. This is dark blue because I know that her father's favorite color was blue. So, you take the craft sand and you just pour it into your container, just like that. And I'm going to use 2 bottles to fill this up enough. You use enough sand to fill it up to the level you desire. It's all up to you. Depends on how big and how deep your container is as to how much sand you'll need. Okay, shake it out flat. and that's your base for your candle garden. The reason I use the sand is because when you put candles in here, when they melt, the wax just pools up in the sand, and when you're ready to replace your candles, you just pull that melted wax, pick that melted wax right out of your sand, and all's good. It also ensures that the candles are not going to fall over and burn onto stuff. These are actually plastic, but I do have tons of glass that I got at Goodwill to etch. So yeah. All right. The next thing I got was I got a picture of, I call these people Grandma and Grandpa because these people right here are my second husband's grandparents that I got to know quite well. Even though I am not married to him anymore, I've stayed in touch with some of his family. And the lady this candle garden is for actually is my second husband's aunt. Hi, Demon. So what I did, this is a glass picture frame, and I etched their names. Juan y Audrey. The E in Spanish means and. So it's Juan and Audrey. Juan y Audrey in Spanish. So I just position my picture frame into the sand. Just like that. Now if you move this around too much, this is going to fall over. So it's really not something that you want to do for a transportable item. Candle gardens are more for stationary. Then I got two pretty little rose candles. These are actually floating candles that you can put in water, but I thought the little red roses were really pretty and would look pretty against the blue. So I'll place one in front of each person in the picture. And then they are Catholic. Grandma and Grandpa were Catholic, and so is Margie. So that explains the cross. This is just a little wooden cross I got that I painted silver, and then I burned that little design across there onto the little painted wooden cross. Did find out that burning paint is not quite like burning just plain wood. You kind of have to go over it a couple times, and it smells a little weird. But anyway, I'm going to put that in the sand right in front of the picture. And there is my gift for my friend. That is a candle garden. She can use it when she does her prayers, because the Catholics do rituals and prayers to pray the soul from purgatory into heaven. They also do it for memory and for love. So this can be used by my friend to when she does her prayers for her father, and it's also already set up so that when her mother dies, it already includes her mother. Her mother she's got dementia and she's incoherent. So I didn't think it was inappropriate to go ahead and include her mother in this memorial. So that's my gift candle garden. Now you can already see how this technique will be effective for ritual use. And hold on just a minute, I forgot to get my fan for the other one. Where did I put it? I used this for a spell. It's got my sand down in it. I just put a candle down in there and went outside and did a spell for someone. And a lot of candle spells require you to leave the candle lit and undisturbed until it burns away or goes out on its own. Well, outside, a lot of times the wind will blow it out before the spell has had time to really manifest. So a glass like this will be perfect for outside candle spell work because unless it's extremely windy, this is going to protect your candle from getting burnt out. Anyway, that's why what I was talking about the wax just melting into the sand, and when you're ready to change out your candle, you just pull that out and you're done. One thing I'm doing with the glass etching is making ritual candle jars with this sand that are kind of like the candle gardens, but not completely, just etching pictures, runes, words, whatever to use for spell work. But right now I'm going to steal the sand out of these. And okay, if you want to take a little break, go to the bathroom, get something to drink real quick, I have to go out in my garage and find my sand. So, be right back. Eek. And yes, I just said eek. Okay, so are there any questions now? Okay. So, going back. This candle garden is one that I have had set up before. Oh, by darkness from Canada, I have been crafting in one way or another pretty much all my life. I worked a lot with kids in church, and when you do things with little kids, you have to keep them active and engaged, and making things is one way. My grandmother taught me to crochet when I was 8 years old. And I've been just, learning different things and doing different things pretty much all my life. I get bored with one thing and I'll start something new. Sometimes I'll like it and I'll keep doing it. Sometimes I don't like it and I give it up and move on to something else. So, okay. This candle garden I'm going to make, like I said, is one I've had set up before, but since I moved into this house, I haven't redone it. It's a family candle garden that I use, and on new moons, when my energy is the strongest, I use it half meditation, half spell, ritual like, concentrating on the things that I want my children, my granddaughter to achieve and have in their lives. I did paint embroidery for a little while when I was very, very young. One of my aunts did it and she let me do some with her, but I haven't done it in a very long time. Okay, so this is just my container that I got. I don't remember when I got it or where I got it. And because I want my family to be healthy and happy, I'm going to use yellow sand, because yellow is a color that, I don't personally like yellow. I don't wear yellow clothes. I don't wear yellow jewelry. I don't have yellow curtains, all that kind of stuff. But when you look at yellow, you're happy, you're content. It makes you feel kind of energetic. The color yellow is just a happy color. So I'm going to pour enough paint, enough sand in here to get it up to a decent level, because this one's kind of deep. Like I said, you'll have to gauge the amount of sand depending on your container. And no, Demon, my house is not yellow. This color is actually a tan color. My granddaughter's room, the walls are yellow. But that was a compromise because she wanted to paint pink. So I convinced her that yellow would be a better color for the walls, and we went with pink curtains and pink bedspread with yellow walls. The pink in there is why I don't I don't go in her room when she's not here. I like pink. Okay, anyway. So you judge the amount of sand you need by the size of your container, the depth and everything of your container. Okay. Then I used the wood burning and burned their names onto little pieces of wood. And these little pieces of wood you can get in any craft shop in lots of different shapes and sizes. You get big bags full of them. So this one, I'm going to put the names in different positions, just whatever I think is aesthetically pleasing. Then I chose candles for each one of the kids, a color that reminded me of the kids. And I'm just going to put these candles right above the little nameplates. So just like that. I can't tip this one enough to really show you, but I'll pick up the computer and show it to you later. Now I have more little wood pieces that I burned the sentiments that I want to send, that I want to energize my kids with. I've got health, wisdom, happiness, love, and wealth. And I just place those in random places around on the sand. Then I have some seashells, because we all kind of like going to the beach. The beach makes me happy. The wind, the waves, especially at night. Beach makes me happy. So I used different little shells, and I got a whole big bag of these little seashells at a craft store, real cheap. And just place them randomly around whatever I think looks fun. Okay. And the last thing is this little metal pinnacle thing. It's not a pendant or anything like that. I picked it up at a pagan shop in town. It's just a little stamped metal pinnacle. And I put it right there. And then I'll have to pick up the computer. I'll have to pick up the computer, so if y'all get dizzy or something, close your eyes real quick until I tell you to look. And I will show you from a top view what this looks like. Eek. It's not working. Okay. This is taking a minute. Okay. Everybody see that? That's what my little family candle garden looks like. And, okay, close your eyes again because I'm going to move the computer again. Okay, I'll still again. Alright, now what I use this candle garden for, like I said, is on the new moon. The dark of the moon is when my energy is highest, when it flows best for me. So I light the candles, and with each candle I light, I think about the person that candle is associated with, and I put all of my energy into wishing them to have happiness and health and prosperity and joy and wisdom in their lives until I have all of the candles met. And then I just sit and I think about memories of my kids, of the time when I first met my daughter-in-law, the night that my granddaughter was born. I think about happy memories associated with these people and just send that energy into them through this little ritual garden. So that's how candle gardens can be very personal, and they can be very effective in ritual use. So, are there any questions so far? Does anybody have any questions about this so far? I guess you could think of it that way, no, as a cake. So, okay, another way, like, you can use candle gardens for ritual use when you do meditations or worship rituals for deities. You choose a candle, and you can use any size candle, any size container, any color, any shape. For your candle garden, you can use any color of sand. You can even use dirt out of your yard or cat litter or anything inside it, just because the sand is basically just to hold your stuff in place, hold your candles up, and catch the wax when they melt. Actually, yeah, but like I said, this is from a spell I did using the sand in a glass. This is the wax that melted, the candle that melted away. This little chunk right here. So yeah, for a spell, you actually could keep that leftover wax, bury it, or do whatever you do. Yes, by Darkness Enchanted, it comes in about a dozen different colors. You may be able to get more colors online. I got this, some of it at Michael's, some of it at Joann's, and some of it at Hobby Lobby. If you go online and look for, and all it is craft sand. This brand on this is Treehouse Studio, and it's just called sand. Yeah, frosted wood burning would actually be a very good way to put runes and symbols onto wands. Hi, Bjarki. But yeah, when you're doing meditation and worship rituals for deities, you choose your candle for that. You choose a symbol, something, a piece of something, an herb, or a picture or a drawing or something. Or you can take a piece of paper, or you can take these little pieces of wood and use a marker and write on them. If you don't want to do the wood burning, you write on these little pieces of wood or a little piece of paper. Write what you want on it, stick it in there. You can also use the glass etching for this. You can get these tiny little mirrors at any craft store and etch name, symbol, rune, pinnacle, whatever onto these tiny little mirrors and use them in your candle garden. But like I said, herbs, seashells, pieces of wood, little plastic figurines, anything you want, anything that applies to your purpose can be put into your candle garden. Same thing for spell work. If you're doing a candle spell, like I said, a lot of candle spells require you to leave the candle burning undisturbed until it goes out by itself, until it's either all burned away or something natural extinguishes the flame. These candle gardens and these containers and the little etched glasses are very, very good for that. They hold your candle upright. They protect it from the wind blowing it out. They protect it from falling over, so that it doesn't catch anything on fire, and you can leave it undisturbed without fear. So that's pretty much what I got. You can see how you can reuse them too. These containers, especially if you're using it for spell work, you want to do another one, you cleanse the container, change what's in it, voila, you've got your whole new garden. So, are there any questions or comments? Anybody got anything to say? Hi, Fire. You came in right at the end, sweetie. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I got. And do you feel putting incense in there would be good to make the deity be more visible? Demon, that would be up to your spell and what you want. You can use this totally as your altar. Incense is usually associated with the element of air. So yes, in my opinion, cone incense would be the best to use in here. Not the long stick, but the cones. But yeah, you can use the candle as your element of fire, the sand, salt, dirt, whatever you use as your element for earth. A symbol, or maybe even a tiny little container, like a thimble or something with some water, and a cone incense, and there you've got your elements all in one place for your spell. You can actually even do candle gardens in water. You can get a higher sided bowl or something like that, glass bowl, something waterproof, put some water in it and float herbs in it, and use floating candles like those red rose candles I got at Hobby Lobby, and they are actually floating candles. When you put those in water, they will float on top of the water. So you can actually make a candle garden, not with sand, but with liquid. You can even tint the water different colors for correspondences for your spell or your ritual. I mean, there's endless possibilities. It's only limited by your own imagination and your own needs and desires at the time that you're making it. So does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, Ross, rock gardens are a lot like this. And those little Zen things with the little rakes, that you can even use your candle garden like that when you're trying to meditate and you're having problems. You can, get one of those tiny little rakes, make a candle garden that you can, rake designs around and through your candles and stuff. Rock gardens are another way to help with meditation and focus. So if that's all, that nobody. I've done one all in black by Darkness Enchanted. Actually, I saw something similar to this on a website post somewhere. I can't remember when or where, but it was I don't remember exactly what it was for, but when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, wow, I can use that in a spell." And that's the first one I created, was to use for a specific spell that I was using, that I was doing. Um, but my brain works like that. I see things and I'm like, "Oh, cool. I can use that. I can do that." Yeah. Um, Fire, the broadcasts are recorded, and there is a link up on the website and I think on the Facebook page, um, that you can get to the previous recordings. This one will be up on that YouTube link. Um, on that YouTube link. This one will be up tomorrow because for Ustream it takes a few hours for the recorded video to show up. So I'll be posting it up to the YouTube channel. The reason I upload them to the YouTube channel is that unless you want to pay $99 a month, Ustream deletes videos after 30 days. Uploading them to a Ustream channel, a YouTube channel, will keep them indefinitely available for people. So yeah, not trying to become an internet celebrity or anything like that, or become famous. I just want to make sure that the links are there for people who want them to be able to access them. So all right, well, I'm going to sign off for the broadcasting, um, and I will be available in the chat for a little while. And like I said, the recorded video should be available tomorrow. So thank you very much for coming and listening and talking to me. And blessed be everybody.